Hello everybody and welcome to Moonmoth, and as usual I'm in the Papillon area and it's quite late on in the day. The sun is almost setting and I'm looking down there, it's pitch black behind me, but it's going to be tricky light. So it's 3 o'clock, so I've got about an hour of daylight, so we'll have a run into the forest here and see what's happening. I'm just being a little bit startled. I don't know what the sound was. I've no idea. Heard quite a rush of noise in this area. Couldn't tell you what type of sound it was. It seemed to come from down there somewhere. Very unusual. So it looks like it's quite light in here, but it really, honestly, it is not. It's very dark. The camera compensates for the light. So what I wanted to show you, it's sort of my waist height here, and it's in the ground. It's all been stripped of bark. Someone's out shooting today, you can hear the gunshot in the distance. But look, it's stuck in the ground. There is a lot of all of this stuff here. I can't really discern very much in the way of a specific shape from that. And then just behind the tree here, there's all of this stuff here. It's only because they're all parallel lying together in parallel shape that drew my attention to it. Because sticks don't usually fall together in parallel shapes, and they would, of course, be right beside this lena here, which is quite a large lena. I'll just see if I can zoom in on it. That's quite a large lena, but I need to move on, otherwise it's going to be really, really dark by the time I get to the bottom. We're losing the light quite fast now. Birds are quiet. Might get the odd chirp of a bird. Come on, birdies. Sing. Everybody likes to hear you singing. There's one little bird chirping. See how the camera compensates for the fact it's very, very dark. Wow, there's some big footprints here. If you can see that. Can you see that? That's quite a large, wide foot, suggesting to me that it would be female. Trying to see another one here. Run across here. Oh, I can't see them now. Keep my eyes peeled. Why, this little bit that I'm in just feels different. It feels to me like it looks different. It's a silly thing to say, but there we go. What's that? What is that? I know what that is. That's the mango. Remains of that lovely big red mango. Let's have a look. Oh, it's going to be khaki. What they've done is they've bitten probably one big mouthful and scraped as much flesh out, because the stone in a mango is that bit here. Oh, that's monkey. So they've obviously just taken one big bite, got as much flesh off it, and scooped it. Oh, they come in this direction. See? Definitely come in this direction. Well, I'm going to leave the mango where it is. Oops. Sorry about this, folks. I should have come a bit earlier. It's just a little bit dark now. What's that noise? I'm getting that noise again. Well, you know when you're being followed. Oh, spider's webs. Better not be a spider attached to that. I shan't be happy. It's gonna get a thump on the head. This just feels very different today. It's not the energy that feels different. It just feels like it looks different. I can't explain that. It shouldn't be any different. Trees don't move around. It just feels like it looks different to me. So, we're at the gifting site. And we found one sweeter apple so far. The apples, they have gone. The bags, they have totally gone. So not a single bag lying around, and we had the same thing last week. No bags. Alrighty. Any plastic at all. They're carrying the bags off. They're obviously taking the whole bag. Because there's nothing. We've seen this thousands of times before, haven't we? See the shape? So it comes up like that, moves across, and then becomes leaner. Right, I'm going to get the tree all dressed. Well, first of all, this is our gifting stump. Now, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it in here or not, but I'll show you. I know the light is poor. It's really, really faint, but there's like concentric circles. There's one there, and it looks like it's getting smaller. One there, and one inside. I don't know if you can pick it up. What I'll do is I'll just move around. I don't know if you're going to get it or not. That's weird. So, what are those? Pecans. Had to think then. Cashew nuts. Almonds. Oh, and some soft figs. A couple of tracker biscuits. I'm going to put those in better. I think I'll sort those out in a minute. They might be okay. Some peanut butter and some, I think it's curried sardines or mackerel, something of that sort. Stinks, but it's good for somebody. I then just pop these so I'm just going to pop these around the tree. Not much of this tree left these days. It's getting a bit ropey. And say thank you to the tree for hosting us. Oh. How interesting. Has that always been there and I've just not noticed it? Yeah. It's always been there, but I've just not noticed it. But I am going to check over the video. I find that odd. Those roots are underground, they're intact. But you've seen me often enough putting stuff down around here. I am sure that would have... I'm sure I would have noticed that before now. Maybe I do walk around with my eyes closed, but hey ho. This is our little world of weird. It's interesting. So, the apples. These are organic apples, 2 lots. Now, do you remember how I tied the mango up last week? I wrapped it around the branch several times. See if I maybe better to come round this side and show you. But I wrapped it, so I did that and did that, and the mango was there. Yep. Well, interesting, isn't it? That's unravelled itself. Alright, so what I'll do now, you know what you've got to do, folks. We'll say grubs up, folks. We'll just good God, the smoke from those sticks, incense sticks, is choking me. Good Lord. I'm just trying to blow some smoke out of the way. Righty, so now time to let everybody know we're here and just give a ring on the bells. Like, you know, I always tell you, it becomes very, very loud and I don't want to hurt your hearing. So if you'll just take your earbuds out now, and I'll just give this a gentle ring. God, they must have heard that in England. Or maybe they heard it in Canada. Maybe. So loud, gosh. Now, there was a little experiment that Chris on the trail to Bigfoot, he was discussing an experiment that he had seen on Skinwalker Ranch that was by Travis, had set this up. Now, for me, alarm bells rang. He said, well, let's do, they decided to choose a random number and get the general public through their private channels, subscriber channels, to get the general public to think of a number and concentrate on this number. And he was saying, I don't know what number to choose, so they chose the number 33. Well, that kind of rang alarm bells for me, given that Travis used to work for the government and now he's suggesting everybody thinks of a number, a random number, 33. Well, given 33 degrees north, I didn't think that was so random at all. And I wonder who that experiment was for. So Chris was describing this, and he was starting to tell us about they had done a similar thing themselves on their channel, and where they had been exploring, things had started to occur, and they were just odd things around the house. When he got back, things had gone missing, couldn't find things. And you can watch that episode if you like, just watch it. I think you'll come to the same conclusion as me, that whoever it is who guides Chris, his protective spirit guides, was certainly trying to protect him. And I don't think that he at first got it. I don't know if he still does. He couldn't find his hat. His hat said Under Armour. He's been wearing the hat for years. He couldn't find the top of a sauce bottle. Now, I think that he was probably thinking that this was whatever it is he's been searching for in the forest when they've been wandering around looking for their spirit person. And I think he thought it was them, but I think it was his own spirit guides who were giving him a huge warning. The fact his cap said Under Armour, to me, was very, very significant, and he couldn't find it. The fact that the sauce bottle, like keeping a genie in the bottle, that type of thing, that phrase springs to mind, and he couldn't find the top of the sauce bottle. So what I'm just saying is, be careful what you're doing. We don't always know what we're dealing with, and it pays to try and establish whom or what you're dealing with. So I thought we would try a similar, but not the same, type of experiment. I did this a couple of years ago with Rachel King, and we synchronized our times. I think she's 6 hours behind me in the UK, and I was concentrating on several things and see if I could send those images to her. She did pick up on some of them. So what I'm going to do is do the same with you guys. So here are the items. Now you can see that I am blurring them out for very good reason. I want you, as individuals, to see if you can concentrate on that area. It's nothing weird, nothing out of the ordinary. These are just everyday items, and I just want you to see if you can think what they are. There are 4 items, so starting on the right, I want you to concentrate on those. I'm going to leave the camera here and put some blur on this, just for a short time, but I want you to concentrate on those and see if you can work out what they are. So what I want you to do is to write 1, 2, 3 and 4. Doesn't matter which order you have them in, and see if you put it in the comment section below, see if you can work out what these are. And I just wonder if you can hone in on that. I'm not going to give you any clues other than they're nothing that is extraordinary. They're everyday things, and that's all I will say, and see if you can work out what they are. So that was our experiment, and I just wanted to see if we could get any headway with that. Remote viewing, all of that kind of stuff. If there's anything in it, we might as well try it. So I think for a few of you who have forest families in your area, they probably are returning back. They may have been away for some time, and they may well be on their way back. So we're into a new moon, so I think give it a few days and they will start to appear. Now if you are wanting to speak with your forest family, this is something people have asked me about. You want to connect with them. First things first, not every forest family is like ours. They're just not. Some are very protective, very aggressive. Some may have only ever had bad experience with human beings. Some may be all for it, and when they approach their elders say no. Flat no. Keep clear, you're only storing trouble up, bringing trouble to our door. So you've got to accept that that may be their stance on things. But if you have them, and you know you have them on your property, and I know that there are many of you who do, incontrovertible proof you have that. You know they're leaving footprints. But I'll suggest to you that almost certainly, and you'll know what I mean, all of you who have this experience, that they will be observing you from some distance. So if you're sitting watching the TV, you might not be aware of it, but they might be watching you. So don't go out with your cameras and bright lights. Bright lights hurt their eyes. If you have outside spotlights or using a very bright light, it hurts their eyes. They are not going to come onto your property if you've got spotlights. That's one way of getting rid of them. If you put cameras up, these trail cams up, that's also another way to ensure they will never come near. They don't like them, it physically hurts them. There's a sound that these cameras emit, and they can sense it and they can hear it. It's very intrusive as well. They should be able to go about their business. So, be respectful if you do speak to them and you are asking them to converse with you. Be respectful. If you address your questions to somebody with authority, so you could say your clan leader or an elder, someone with authority, and you don't have to give a name or anything, just say just that, someone with authority. And you could ask if they would be willing to speak with you, if they would be willing to teach you and share some of their information with you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, and it all depends on whether they have permission to. So you may find that you have one person on your property, one Bigfoot, who seems to not necessarily communicate, but be your main contact, the one who will be, I don't know, you will link with them more than any of the others. And it may well be that that person is the one who has been granted permission. And it may be that nobody else has, just that one person, and that might be to do with their future path. It might be that at some stage in the future they will come out to speak. They will come out and make their presence felt. At the moment they're pretty much going about their business, and only some of us have the ability and the permission to communicate with them. So it's got nothing to do with you, it's no slight on you or anything like that. It's just dependent on what they are allowed to do. So this is why you may get one primary person, one primary Bigfoot, whether it's a youth, and I think in general they are, the younger ones, whether they will communicate with you. They'll be the ones that come up to the house. They'll be the ones that will throw a pebble on your roof. They'll be the ones that you might just see quick as a flash or hear as a flash. They don't have to leave footprints if they're leaving a footprint because they want you to see it. But they don't have to leave a footprint. That sounds weird, but it is what it is. So with that, folks, I'm going to love you and leave you. It has been a short video this week. I must apologise, I do have serious time constraints. So, with that, we'll catch up with you next week. And that's our little gifting area here. So thank you for watching. Thank you and goodbye.